Okay guys, now I've got a very interesting video I want to share with you. I'm going to explain in full details the things you need for this strategy to work for you, and I believe if you follow the few steps I'm going to reveal to you, you are going to be passing your challenges and you're going to be making profits on your live account. Now let's head to the chart and I'm going to show you guys amount. All right, here on the chart I have 4-hour time frame. This is GBP USD. All right, I'm going to use the last 4 days price action to show you guys what I really mean. All right, so we're going to start from somewhere around here. All right, so from somewhere around here, I'm going to show you guys how I determine my daily bias. All right, and then I only tend to trade in one single direction of my already determined daily bias. I do not trade against that bias. So if I've been able to analyze to find out that there is a very high chance of price going more bullish than bearish for the day, I only look for bullish setups. Any bearish setup, I actually avoid them. All right. No matter how profitable it might look or it might seem, I clearly wait for the bullish setups. All right. So having said that, this is the 4-hour time frame. All right. Now, in this day, let's make this wider. All right. In this day, today, this is Wednesday, the 21st of February. If you notice from the chart, we have our supply area right here. All right. And if you find out, you will see that behind we had a demand area. So this is the easiest way I actually find my daily bias. Now I know that price is more likely to go bullish from this point, all right, than bearish. Why? Because we are heading into this supply area. So on this day, if you look at the previous day, price closed very, very bullish. So I'm looking for continuation on the following day. So what I'm looking for is very simple. I'm much interested in looking for bullish price action. And I'm going to trade that on the 1 minute time frame using trend lines and then using some minor support and resistance or supply and demand levels. All right, now having identified that today, this day in particular, we are going to be buying more than selling. What I'm going to do is very simple. I simply head down to the 1 minute time frame. And because I only trade from London session to New York session, and I always have to take breaks in between session, like when the volume tends to go down before New York open. All right, so I'm going to show you guys this from the 1 minute time frame, how I take advantage of this type of setups. All right, so this is where we want to start, all right, trading, right? This is this day right here. So price started, the London session opened by 11 o'clock in my time, all right? So this is where I want to see volume kicking into the market. So this is exactly 11 o'clock. I'm going to open this. Okay, now from the green line is where London session started. This is Asian session close, and then this is New York. All right, so this day I'm looking for more of buys overall, not sales. Now, how do I determine that price is likely going to buy in my direction? First of all, I want to see price action, but remember, before you can be able to trade effectively in the 1 minute time frame, you have to understand price action. You have to understand how price moves, price waves. You have to understand that price simply moves in bearish formations, all right, and then in bullish formations, and then sometimes in a ranging formation before a breakout, all right. You have to already know this at the back of your head, that this is the three major movement you will see on this chart. So right here now, I've already identified that I'm going to buy for the most part for the day. All right, what am I looking for? I'm looking for price to swing bearish. All right, then I'll look for a breakout. all right, using trend lines. This is basically what it is all about. And for selling, I'm looking for price to do swing highs, and then we look for breakouts to the downside. Once we get a breakout, we sell. All right. And once we get a breakout to the upside, we buy. This is basic. This is very simple. This is how I approach this strategy. Most especially when price is a little bit slow, you have to know how to trade from the lower time frame to be able to make some sizable amount of profit on a daily basis. All right, right here, what we can see here is that price was pushing bullish right here, all right, from this point, and then it started creating some bearish structures from this point. If you notice here, we started getting some bearish structures, all right? And then once I've identified 2 points where I can add my trend lines, this is the first step, because you must have 2 valid swing points before you can add your trend line. So if you notice here, if we started adding the trend line from here, we had the first swing point, the second swing point right here. Sorry about that. We have the first swing point here, the second swing point, and then the third swing point. All right. Now, how do I add this trend line to make it valid? First, we use the first and the second swing point, and then price created extra swing point to the downside. Why and how do I know this is a valid swing point? Because it broke structure. If you notice right here, it keeps breaking structure to the downside. If it has not broken structure, it is not yet a valid swing point. All right, having said that, now we have to use the second swing point. All right, if you see right here, just like I said, we have 2 swing points already here. This is the first and this is the second. Now we have to use the most previous swing point, which is from here now to this point. All right, joining these 2 most recent swing points. If price came in now and created another swing point, I would have simply moved my trend line from here to the next swing point. All right, so for the sake of this video, price simply gave us 1 and 2 swing points before we had a break to the upside. So what we're going to do is very simple. We wait for a clear close above this trend line. If you see, this is not a clear close because price simply closed a little bit and then pumped downside. Now we had a very strong bullish close. What I do is very simple, because I've backtested this strategy for a very long time. I always use a fixed stop loss of 4 pips, and I always go for first 1:2. So if I'm using 4 pips, I'm always targeting first of all to get 8 pips, and then I will see what price is doing to know if I'm going to keep holding or I'm going to just take my profit and call it quit for that particular trade. All right, so this is what we're looking at. Right now, we have a strong bullish closure. We take our entry right from there, 4 pips stop loss. All right, 4 pips stop loss, and we target 8 pips. Take profit. This is very simple. It's very easy. This is how you can easily work for like 1 hour every single day, and you will pass your challenges and you will make profit on your account. Why? Because if you're trading a prop firm account, very simple and very easy, you can simply risk 0.05 and always target to make 1% on daily basis. And remember, this type of setup sometimes presents more than 4-5 times in a day. All right, so this day we already banked right here around 2%. Let's use a fixed risk to reward of 1:2 risk to reward. All right, remember guys, the criteria for entering any trade is we have to see 2 valid swing points. All right, and then we place our counter trend line and wait for price to break to the opposite direction. This is what we are looking for, and this is how we will be trading it. All right, now let's keep going to see if price gives us any other setup. Remember, we are only buying on this particular day. All right, as you can see, we already have a win here, and we are waiting for price to give us swing points, but price did not give us any other swing points until we got to somewhere around here. Now we have our first swing point here. All right, we have our second swing point, we have our third swing point, and this is exactly the fourth swing point. All right, now remember how we placed the trend line from first to second. All right, then price created another swing point. We move from the previous to the most recent. This is exactly what we keep doing, from the previous to the most recent. All right, so if you see here, very, very simple, very straight. Price broke this area right above this trend line. All right, strong bullish close, enter our trades, stop loss below 4 pips, maximum. All right, this is 4 pips, and then we target 1:2 risk to reward only. So on this day, we could have simply made around 2% profit for the day, and then we can as well as call it a day. And now this is barely in London session, and if you see here, we started having some swing points again. We place our counter trend line, all right, this way, and then we have another trade to buy, 4 pips stop loss. You can use any stop loss you wish, all right? But for my back testing, from what I've seen and what I've traded live, I know that 4 pip stop loss is always safe. Sometimes you might take a loss, but for the most part, you will always end up on the winning side. All right, so as you can see, price kept on rallying to the upside. So now this brings me to the point where I said, if I see price action clearly heading in my direction, I always hold my trade, because out of experience, you will know when price keeps pumping in your direction. Now you see, if you see right here, this is very simple. You could have made up to 11R right here. The same thing happened here. Price kept on pushing to the upside without breaking structure to the downside. You could have simply hold your trade until you see this break of structure right here, which could have given you up to 1:5. All right, so this is basically what we could have done for this day. Now we head to the next day. We're going to do at least 2-3 examples so that we can see what we are doing. Now I head back to 1 hour time frame to see what are we going to be doing for the most part today. All right, so if you watch right here, we will be looking for buys. All right, but if we do not get any setup for buys, we stay out of the trade. All right, we stay out of the market. So right here, this is the next day right here. All right, so let's go and see what we can do with the current price action we see for that day. Remember, our bias is to buy for the most part. All right, so now right here on the chart, we have London session started from here. Price kept on pushing all the way down. We have our first swing point right here. We have our second swing point right here. We join our trend line, and then we wait for price to close above our trend line. And as you can see right here, we have another swing point because price rallied to the downside. All right, so why I do not take this as a swing point is because price did not close below this previous swing low. All right, so this is what we are going to do. We wait for a close, but as you can see, price closed right above here. So we buy, 4 pip stop loss. We could have taken a loss here, which happens regularly in trading. Everybody takes a loss. All right, but for the fact you know that price has already taken us out here, we now adjust our trend line, all right, from the previous swing point to the most recent swing point. All right, so this is exactly what we do, and then we wait for price to break out. All right, again we use 4 pip stop loss, and as you can see, price simply respected this stop loss, and then we target for 1:2 as usual. Now price hit our take profit very, very clearly. Again, we started having some swing points. We have one swing point here. We have the second swing point here. All right. What do? We place our counter trend line. All right. Wait for a break. Very simple, very easy, and very straight. Not complicated at all. 4 pips stop loss. All right. And then we target 1:2 risk to reward. Now, if you check what we've done in 2 days, okay, let's just complete this particular day. Again, we started having swing points. Price did the first swing point here, the second swing point, and the third swing point. We place our counter trend line from the most recent to the previous swing point. Very simple. We take our trade upon the break, 4 pips stop loss, target 1:2. The same thing, remember, we are only buying. We are not looking for any sell setup. We are only buying. You could have bought here as well because we have one swing point here and 2 swing points. Place our counter trend line right here. And then we wait for a clear break of that trend line. But remember, whenever volume kicks in, price tends to take people easily out of their trades. So if there is high volume, you should always know that your stop loss has to be placed below swing points. But for me, I do not trade when there is a very high volume. I always wait for price to slow down. Just like here, this is barely the open of New York session. So volume is very high. So price tends to swing out our stop losses easily. All right. So we might take a loss here. Let's say we took a loss right here. And then we waited for swing points again to come into the market. And as you can see, we have our first swing point here. We have a second swing point. We have a third swing point, and we have a fourth swing point. Now we use the most recent swing points. All right. The most recent swing point is right here, from the previous to the most recent. And then we take our trade entry here, 4 pips stop loss. Again, we target 8 pips. Very simple, very easy, not complicated. And then for this day, we could have easily made a lot of pips. We could have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trades, 4 wins and 2 losses. And this simply means 1%, 1%, 1%, 1%. That means 4% minus the 2 losses we had, that's 3% for the whole day. Then with the previous day, we had also 1% here, 1%, 1%. So you could have easily passed your prop firm challenge under 2 days. All right. If we continue to trade, all right, if we continue to trade, we have our swing point, we have our swing point, we have our swing point. So price took out these swing points, all right. Very simple, you buy again. This is very easy as it looks, because you can see everything I'm doing is very straight and very, very forward. 1:2 risk to reward. We already hit TP before this news came in. And this is how you can easily grow your account and pass your prop firm challenges. So guys, if you found value in this video, simply give us thumbs up and also subscribe to our channel. Invite your friends so that when next we drop any video, you will be the first to hear about it. And I love you guys. See you on the next one. Peace.